Okay, so we have a big breaking news coming out. Do me a favor and share this video. Once again, thank you so much for your support. College campuses could be ground zero for Persia sleepers plotting to harm sleeping giant citizens. Experts warn. Now, this is very important to keep up to date, guys. All right, we've seen what happened back in 2001. Again, sleeping giant, don't fall asleep on this one here. Keep your eyes open, be aware of your surroundings. If you see something, say something. Especially 4th of July is around the corner. Again, please don't forget what happened in 2001. All right, so expert warn Persia operative could be leveraging the anti-Holy Land protest after Joe border policy enable these individuals to come in. 20 plus million came in. You best believe there's a lot of sleepers that were in those bunch when they when they were coming in under Joe terms. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Guys, don't forget, I did post Patreon, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. For those of you who are members of Patreon, check it out. I did post it was a 1 hour live stream. So we did talk about a lot of stuff. And I want to thank every single one of you for that support. Your support is what keeps us on air. Thank you so much, either through Patreon, PayPal, or the Cash App. Your support truly helps out. It helps out all of us content creator, YouTubers, or even those on X. Again, your support is what keeps us on air. You see Reuters, every time you click on their website to read the article, they charge $1 just to read their article. Even though they're worth millions as a multi-million company. But again, your support is what truly helps out. Thank you so much. As the warning of Persia retaliation looms, the potential for a huge event to leverage New Age methods remains front of mind for experts, pointing to anti-Semitic, campus protest and social media propaganda as possible methods of creating chaos within our sleeping giant country. Guys, I seen a video. There were all these people in Times Square. Times Square was packed, and it was nighttime. Times Square, they always have the lights on, and they were playing this music. It's a Middle East music, when they get down to their knees and pray and stuff like that. Well, they were blasting that in Times Square, and they were bowing down and everything. I'm like, man, this is where we at. This is where we at. Our sleeping giant. Again, the Big Apple is being run by a whole bunch of them. After strikes on Persia key nuclear site by sleeping giant forces Saturday, the Department of Homeland Security issued a national T advisory system bulletin warning of the heightened risk of these groups from Persia backed or domestic strikers. Now follow me with the code words. The likelihood of lawlessness in a homeland independently mobilizing to violence in response to the conflict will likely increase if Persia leadership issued a religious ruling calling for retaliatory violence against target in the sleeping giant, the bulletin says. Again, this is where we are right now. And Persia put out another message. And actually, they said they put out a message live on television. It was broadcast to millions of Persian citizens today. And I did post a video. The link will be in the comments box. Sleepers are groups planted within a country by a foreign gov to live and work among citizens. So they could be your friends, they could be your buddy, they could work with, go to the gym with. You think that, man, I like that guy, man. He got me an Applebee's and Chipotle and stuff. He's a good man. He's a good man. He got American flag in his truck and everything. I like him. So, but in reality, again, don't trust no one. Don't trust no one. Put your faith and trust in the Lord, because again, these are actors. So again, your neighbor could be a sleeper. Your neighbor. Nah, Louis, I knew my neighbor for a long time. All neighbors, again, sleepers has been around for many, 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 many years, more than 40, 50 years. All right, so due to depleted funding and resources, these organizations such as Hezbollah and others have been forced to sit this one out when it comes to aiding Persia in its strike, significantly depleting the regime's show of force when looking to retaliate against the sleeping giant and the Holy Land. Now, Persia's ability to react militarily is increasingly minimalized, Senior told the news. We have to remember that Persia proxies have been severely degraded. Strikes on Persia. So you see those 3 dots? That's what the sleeping giant went after. They dropped the bunker buster. In response to the loss of Persia's usual proxies, Senior points to the Gov utilizing sleepers to carry out its agenda on the soil of its adversaries. Persia will be seeking to flex by activating sleeper in the sleeping giant Britain, Europe, or even Asia, Senior said, about conducting surveillance and then targeting either community centers or policy official. So Persia is not new to this game. The warnings to the sleeping giant citizens' safety has U.S. officials on high alert. You hear that? Guys, again, every time I talk about this news, I don't get that much views. And it seems like a lot of people just not into this. It's very important that you watch this because, again, you saw what happened in 2001. You saw it. It was something that we will never forget. I remember I was 16 or 17 years old. I remember that year. And my condolences and prayers to the families and friends that lost their loved ones. Once again, you have sleeping giant officials on high alert, and DHS and FBI are ramping up security measures throughout the country. But I thought everything was fine. Just keep your eyes on the 4th of July. I'm just saying. Since the event of Persia nuclear site over the weekend, sleeping giant, you got ICE arrested 11 Persian nationals in the country illegally, including an alleged sniper in the Persian army, according to the Department of Homeland Security. We want to thank Joe. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much for that, man. Thank you, Joe. It is our duty to keep the sleeping giant safe and informed, especially during times of conflict, DHS Secretary Christie said in a statement to the news. The ongoing Holy Land Persia conflict brings the possibility of increased warning to the homeland in the form of possible cyber acts of lawlessness and anti-Semitic, crimes. Once again, you have the agency FBI decline Fox request for comments. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Barack era DHS Secretary warns of security threats. Wow. Okay. So you have California, Arizona, Colorado, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Missouri, Illinois, Minnesota, New York, And I believe that's Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. A number of Lebanon Persian South American operatives with a Persia connection have come through the southern region, Senior said, referencing Joe previous open doors policy. There's just no way of tracking. Once again, thank you, Joe. I'm gonna keep saying thank you. However, Senior also raised the possibility of Persia operative commanding anti-Holy Land campus throughout the Sleeping Giant while using cyber warfare to launch disinfo campaigns on the platforms. Much of the operation to the Sleeping Giant foreign policy towards Holy Land and the Strip has been people that have been coming to the country on student visas, Senior said. They are not Sleeping Giant nationals, and yet they are able to create a disturbance and contribute to an enormous disruption. Please just be aware of your surrounding. I'm really putting out all this information, guys. Stuff like this, again, news like this should be on Patreon. But I just want to put it out there because we are so close of 4th of July and so many other things. Again, summertime, you guys know everybody go to the beach and stuff like that. Please be prepared spiritually, physically, and mentally. In response to the ongoing anti-Holy Land protests on the college campuses, U.S. Commander-in-Chief has ordered his administration to revoke hundreds of student visas belonging to known activists. However, the risk of Persia sleepers pales in comparison to the possibility of an individual radicalized by the regime choosing to carry out a strike on Sleeping Giant soil, according to Paul, a retired NYPD executive officer with the Intelligence Operations and Analyst Bureau. If Persia was looking to insert an asset into the Sleeping Giant, why would you not go through a Paris southern border? Once again, Paul told Fox News, insert foreign agent here and embed them in these campus protests. Give me a second here. We got so many pictures here. Very disturbing. Once again, the campus provide the Persians Gov an attractive target to embed with primary goal of creating disruption and dissent on Sleeping Giant soil, according to Paul. They can be the recipient of funds, Paul said. They can contextualize what is going on for you. They can tell you who the big players are, how the disruption could go. And it just saps our blood and treasure here on the home front and create chaos. Look at that picture. Like Senior, Paul pointed to the possibility of the Persian using the platform and online platforms to radicalize Sleeping Giant citizens in an attempt to build home ground. I'm going to skip that name, from ground up. That is a real low rent, easy to run operation, Paul said. You get somebody who is leading a slipping down life, who doesn't have much of an identity, somebody who is looking for a personal, and you give them one. It's subtle, and it's a seduction process. We almost done with this one here. While the use of propaganda in targeted platform is historically aligned with ISIS, Paul pointed out, changing digital times affecting how strikes can be waged. Traditionally, that's not the Persian MO, Paul said. That's not the Hell's Bowl MO, but we're in a new world. However, the possibility for these groups to come together with new strategies to use against a common enemy remains front of mind. Right now, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, Paul said. You could have that kind of element that previously people in remnants of Al-Qaeda, I'm going to skip the full name, ISIS, Syria, Iraq, could be figuring right now that Sleeping Giant is going to be a soft target because you have all this unrest among the progressives. While the bulletin released by DHS does not cite any specific warnings to the Sleeping Giant people, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies throughout the country are on high alert as they encourage people to remain vigilant. With tensions between the Sleeping Giant and Persia, Iran continuing to rise, there are no rules of engagement to a rogue regime like Persia, Senior said. Everything is fair game. Western democracies don't operate in that manner, and it's alien to us, but that is how Persia operates. All right, so very, very, very important updates here, guys. Very important news here I wanted to share with many of you. And this one here, but I cannot show the picture. It's just very disturbing. They got so many things on this one here. So it says they want to destroy the Sleeping Giant from the inside. Now Persia sleepers line up on our doorstep, and an ally could be said to unleash them all. And that's very true. Look at this one here. This just came out today. Persia tells Donald to watch his tone if he's serious about a deal. Foreign Minister says Holy Land had no choice but to run to daddy. Ooh! Persia will not hesitate to unveil its real capabilities. Wow. It says here the complexity and tenacity of Persia is famously known in our magnificent carpet, woven through countless hours of hard work and patience. But as a people, our basic premise is very simple and straightforward. We know our worth, value, our independence, and never allow anyone else to decide our destiny. If Donald is genuine about wanting a deal, he should put aside the disrespectful and unacceptable tone towards Persia's supreme leader and stop hurting his millions of heartfelt followers. Wow. The great and powerful Persia people who showed the world that the Holy Land had no choice but to run to daddy to avoid being flattened by our missiles do not take kindly to warnings and insult. If illusions lead to worse mistakes, Persia will not hesitate to unveil its real capability, which will certainly end any delusion about the power of Persia. Good will beget goodwill, and respect beget respect. All right, so once again, that's a very powerful message there by Persia. I think his name is Abbas, sending a message to Donald. All right, so this is where we are right now, guys. I will keep you updated when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Stay focused. Be aware of your surrounding. We are living in really tough times here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please share the video. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream once a week, we talk about things that we cannot talk about in the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ. For He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.